So, Walt Disney World. Yeah, this is like. I can't even remember how many times I've gone at this point because there's so many. Sorry about that. Yeah, I went to Disney World. The coughing still persisted for some reason. But I'm going to tell you about it here because this one was actually pretty good, despite the things that are going on there. Like, there's a lot of construction, but I get why they're doing it. It's like the 50th anniversary. And I also figured out that we're actually headed back next year. Sorry, my phone keeps messaging me. Sorry. And so, Disney World was actually pretty fun this time around. I mean, we obviously weren't able to do everything we planned, sadly, due to all this chaos that's going there for the 50th anniversary. Or at least I presume that's what's happening. But I did find out that we're headed back for 2021. I wasn't necessarily kidding when I said we're that family that always goes to Disney World. We are we may as well live and work there. Regardless, though, how did everything go? Okay, so here we go. Day zero. Day zero wasn't really anything special. We just spent most of the day in airports, and we didn't get to Disney World until like late at night. We also had a layover in Atlanta, so that was another thing that happened. But our plan was to get to Disney World late at night and then just go to bed because it was just so late by the time we got to the hotel. All right, day one. So, day one, we go to Hollywood Studios and we see the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. My mom cried. Okay, let me just get this out of the way right now about Galaxy's Edge. I know the controversy surrounding it, although that's more or less a Disneyland thing as far as I know. But regardless, I'm fully aware of the controversy surrounding Galaxy's Edge. But it was pretty okay to me. In fact, I think it was actually pretty good in terms of, living up to Star Wars. Like, nothing felt out of place. Like, everything just seemed like it should belong there. They also had, like, a lot of new, like, stuff they introduced in terms of, like, either tech or what they're going to be working on. But I will say, you might want to be prepared for something jumping out at you because there are random robots and animals just sprinkled throughout Galaxy's Edge. And they just move randomly. So I'm telling you now, just don't be surprised at this. But the part that really was amazing to me was how well they did the Millennium Falcon. That was well done. Like the way it was constructed seemed pretty elaborate. I mean, you obviously. Actually, yeah, it is a ride. You are kind of semi bought onto the set of the Millennium Falcon. And as for what the ride is, it's basically the same thing almost as Star Tours. It seems pretty simple, a flight simulator. But there's a huge difference here. Number one, you control how this video plays out by flying the ship. I know. But yeah, you apparently need 6 people per crew on that ride, I guess. You need 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and 2 engineers, as far as I know. Regardless, it was fantastic. Like, we rode on it twice, and I was blown away by how well done it was. Also, yeah, they do technically give you a point score. Just, it's pretty fine. The other thing is that we also get Hondo Onaka conducting this video for some reason. For those who don't know, Hondo Onaka is a character in Star Wars that was introduced in the animated Clone Wars series. And, well, to be fair, to really get this guy, you would need to watch the actual series. I also built my own droid, like an R unit, as you probably may or may not have seen in a previous or soon to be uploaded video by the time this goes up. But yeah, I did make my own droid. I called it R6T20. That is what I called it. And I was worried about the droid depot the most. Like, they're giving people the opportunity to build larger than average droids. They give you full ability to have remote control. Now this, like, what are they going to do? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, again, I'm aware of all the controversies. But I promise you that the droid I actually ended up getting was amazing. Like, the remote's a pretty simple design, but the controls feel 100% fluent. Like, when I press a button, it does respond properly. And I did mess around with it for a while, so when it didn't respond, I was ultimately like, maybe it needs new batteries. And seems fair enough. Everything does. But yeah, like, it's amazing. They even give you like voice patterns for different voice chips they have there. But yeah, the controls are 100% fluent on the remote. And they also gave it a head control. They give the head the ability to spin around on the droid and you control it. Like, that's amazing to me. The other thing I found amazing is that when another droid is around and you're using your remote control, it doesn't move the other droid. They really are talented, aren't they? Like, they're all set to different frequencies. So I'm glad that they were able to get past this mistake. And it's like, the only real complaint I really have about the droid and the droid depot in general is just one thing. And it's more or less a nitpick. It's on the remote. The only real complaint I have is that the head spin button can be a bit stiff because it's just one thing. But at the same time, I get what they were going for. But yeah, Star Wars managed to make remote control droids amazing. I mean, they're no masterpiece, but it's definitely worth getting one at least. I'm probably going to end up making a collection of these, though. Anyway, Galaxy's Edge was amazing. But as for the other things I did in Hollywood Studio, it seems pretty straightforward, aside from the things that are under construction. Let's see. We went on Rock and Roller Coaster. We went on Tower of Terror. We went to Toy Story Land and rode Slinky Dog one day. And Toy Story Land was also pretty amazing. We also ate at the 1950s Primetime Cafe. We saw the Indiana Jones stunt show. We went on Star Tours. We went and saw the Muppet Vision 3D attraction. Also, quick note I have to make about the Muppet Vision 3D attraction. The Muppet Vision 3D attraction, what you actually see, was released back in 1991. The special itself was filmed in early 1990. Yeah, so guess what that means, guys? This technically means that this is the very last Muppet project that the original Muppet cast and crew had worked on together, when you really think about it. Because, yeah, Jim Henson died in 1990. Still, I like the Muppet Vision 3D attraction for what it is. The Tower of Terror, for a while, okay, here's a little story about it. For a long time, I never rode the Tower of Terror. But at one point, I was like, okay, I need to do this. So I did do it. And ever since I did do it, I kept going back. And to be fair, guys, it's not even really that bad. The only thing I feel like you really need to be prepared for is when you drop. Though, yeah, you probably do need to be prepared for all of it. Rock and Roller Coaster was still great. And I'm saying all these things like we went to Hollywood Studios at least 4 different times. I know it seems ridiculous, but that's just how it ended up being. We also stayed at Disney's Art of Animation Resort, and our other half of the party stayed at Pop Century, right over Hourglass Lake. What's interesting to note about that, though, is that I'm pretty sure a few of you might be aware of this, but the Disney Skyliner opened. So we used that as one of our primary methods of transportation. So anyway, as for the ending of day one, that was a little bit different. There was this special thing in Magic Kingdom called the Villains Hour or something. I mean, first off, we got there and we ate at this restaurant, which I forget what it was called, but it's supposedly a Lady and the Tramp themed restaurant. Main Street looked amazing at night as usual, and so did the castle. The performance by the villains was just astounding. There was even a parade that happened with the villains, and that was great too. Also, one thing that I was definitely surprised by, Splash Mountain was closed temporarily. But I kinda get it though. But yeah, we got to do a lot at Magic Kingdom during that night. We went on Thunder Mountain. My sister went on Space Mountain. And what else did we do? We were about to go on the Haunted Mansion, but we ended up not doing it. But I will say I was the primary navigator to the whole thing. I was saying, this is where you need to go, this is where you need to go. And I think we also went on The Little Mermaid in Fantasyland. The fireworks show happened in Magic Kingdom, and that was pretty much it for day one. Alright, day two. Day two, we just went back to Hollywood Studios. And a lot of the things I mentioned just now with Hollywood Studios happened the same day. Like, I'm sorry if I'm mixing them up or whatever, but that's just what happened. And sorry for the background noise. But yeah, we went to Hollywood Studios. We saw the Indiana Jones stunt show. We went on Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster again. We saw the Star Wars fireworks show, which was amazing. Like, it was very well choreographed. And like, I forget what else we did. Like, trying to remember everything. I will say this, day two was significantly warmer than day one because day one was just freezing. Which may or may not have caused this thing to flare up in my ears, which I won't even get into. Regardless, day two was pretty great. Alright, day three. Oh boy, day three. So, we went to Animal Kingdom. We did the safari, and I absolutely love that one. We also went to Expedition Everest, which was amazing. Yeah, so we did that. I think we also ate at one of the restaurants there for lunch. It was a reservation. Had great food. My sister painted her face. She even wanted to head over to the Dino Land area, which was currently under construction. Well, some of it was. We went on Avatar Ride of Passage, and the virtual reality technology is just as impressive as it was before. And I think we went to Hollywood Studios for yet a third time. I know it's crazy. But I feel like this was more or less for a dinner reservation at maybe 50's Primetime Cafe. It was also that night we rode the Slinky Dog ride, and let me tell you, that track is just so smooth. Toy Story Land is just amazing. Alright, day 4, Epcot. Oh boy, this day. This friggin' day. I'm saying it like this because I was confused when I got to Epcot because of all the construction they're doing there. Still, it was enjoyable. I mean, they're doing construction for most of Future World. But, still a lot of the popular stuff is there. They even got this new test track thing over there. And the World Showcase is still completely open, which I absolutely adored. I even got a German beer stein from there. We also ate at Morocco in the World Showcase at one night. We were also able to see the construction of the Ratatouille ride from the Skyliner, and it's looking to be pretty promising, guys. And we also went on the Frozen ride in Norway. That was great. Day 5, we went back to Magic Kingdom. We once again went on Thunder Mountain. We went on the Carousel of Progress. My sister once again went on Space Mountain. We went to Monsters Inc. The Laugh Floor, and this was my first time on that. And, okay, I need to say something about Monsters Inc. The Laugh Floor right now. It's not as bad as people say it is. Like, I mean, sure, the cringy puns are there, though. But I'm glad that they're... Sorry. I'm glad that they're taking inspiration from their guest. Because, yeah, they know, comedy is hard. And so, we went on the laugh floor, it was fine. We saw another parade that headed through. We went on It's a Small World, and still impressive. And there was one other thing we did. I know there was. Oh yeah, Peter Pan's Flight. There wasn't really much we could do in Liberty Square or Frontierland for the most part, because the rides were either closed or we just preferred not to go on it for that time. And we went to the Enchanted Tiki Room in Adventureland. That was great and entertaining. And as the day closed, we watched the fireworks show. That was great. And that ended day 5. And day 6, we went back to Epcot. And we pretty much toured around everything all day. We also went to Animal Kingdom, but we couldn't really go in because it started pouring raining. And so that was day 6 pretty much. Then on the final day, we ate at Disney's Polynesian Resort for breakfast, and then we left for the airport, and I got home late last night, and that pretty much sums up everything. It was a great trip overall, and I'm honestly happy I'm headed back for 2021, and hopefully I'll be able to take my girlfriend, Element 4, to Disney World by 2022, because by then everything will be fully updated. Thanks for listening in if you wanted to. Sorry for all the background noise. And this is Twilight X360, and I will see you next time.